again, and welcome to another episode of I Want to Talk About This album. I got to talk a little bit faster today because there's a lot to talk about. I don't know how long this video is going to be, but you can see in the little, probably I guess in the bottom right corner, how long it is now. But I think it's going to be a little bit of a long one. I have a lot of things to talk about other than the featured album, which is Twisted Sister, Come Out and Play. Notice that I didn't say important things or interesting things to talk about, just some things to talk about, including, if I can remember, the motivation or the inspiration or the impetus for talking about this album today. I'll get to that, and it's kind of a little bit all related. A future episode for Mike Pratt. Mike Pratt will be happy to hear, I think, some news that I'm going to have. And is there anything else? Oh, and I'll get to the Amazon, my Amazon problems that I talked about when I did the last episode. Slayer, Helloways, there was a resolution there. Not a good resolution, but it seems to be over. But I'll start with a little quick note, if anybody cares. This coming Saturday, that's going to be February 17th, I will be going to see Danko Jones. Yeah, the Canadian band. You know, it's kind of like Marilyn Manson or Ozzy. It's a guy's name, but it's also a band. So Danko Jones is playing in Mexico City. His or their, whatever pronoun you... my pronoun is kiss my ass. Whatever pronoun you prefer, him, his, or their first time playing in Mexico City, Mexico, the whole country. This was announced a couple of months ago. They were going to play originally at a place called Sala Puebla, which I've been to before, but tickets were like, I think they were 800 or 900 pesos, and I guess maybe they weren't selling more, or I'm not sure what happened. But maybe 2 weeks ago, it was rebooked for a place called Rabioso, which is one of my favorite venues. I love that place. It's awesome. It's a kind of a pizza place, skate bowl, concert venue. The concert, the stage is just a big slab of concrete with the skate bowl right behind it. So the band is playing. There are skateboarders behind it. It's outdoors. It's open air, but it's kind of surrounded. It's almost like a mini coliseum of a pizza place. It's like 3 floors. You can sit and eat your pie whilst you watch Danko Jones or whatever band is playing there. So it's a Rabioso, and tickets are 150 pesos. Now, I wanted to go see Danko Jones just out of curiosity. But I thought, there's no way I'm going to pay 800 or 900 pesos to see a band that I'm not really a guy, or a band that I'm not, and I used to years ago, let's say up to COVID, I used to go to a lot of these concerts that I was just, not necessarily that I was a fan of the band or the artist, but I just wanted to go to a concert and kind of, satisfy my curiosity. It's a good night out, and, maybe I like it and I see some friends and have a good time. I've kind of stopped doing that because they're just getting way too expensive. I'm really only going to spend my money on bands that I like. And Danko Jones, nothing personal against him or them, but I thought it's not worth 800 or 900 pesos to watch him or them out of curiosity. But 150 pesos is no problem. So I'm going to see Danko Jones. So if you like Danko Jones, if you know Danko Jones, expect probably, I always take a video, sometimes 2 at these shows. So stay tuned for that. The concert's on Saturday. Maybe the video will be up on Sunday if I take video. Now, because that was supposed to be on a Saturday, or it is on a Saturday, I was going to go to El Chopo. There's a record that I saw when I was there a few weeks ago that I regret not buying, or that I regretted not buying, and I was going to go back. As I've said, it's hard to be in Mexico City on a Saturday and not go to El Chopo. And so I thought I'll go there early and go to El Chopo and get this record. But then I found that record on eBay for less, and a much better copy than the one at El Chopo. So since I got that from eBay, I don't need to go to El Chopo. So it's just going to be Danko Jones. All right. Now the next thing, where can I go with this? Let's do the Amazon thing. I ordered King's X, Gretchen Goes to Nebraska, a couple weeks ago. Received it, at least received the package the other day. And when I opened it, it was not Gretchen Goes to Nebraska by King's X. It was by a guy called, what was his name? Smokestacks Galore, or Cloudy Day? I can't remember his name. Lightning Hopkins, or Bernard Hopkins, or Lightning and Thunder, whatever his name was. Like, I guess an old blues guy or something from the 40s. And what a pain in the ass. And so I had to send that back. Of course, I won't even get into that. But now, luckily, what saved me was DHL today was, and this is where Mike Pratt and a future episode comes into play. I talked the other day, or maybe last week, or I think I'd mentioned to Mike in one of the comments that he had been asking for quite some time for me to do Kiss MTV Unplugged. I had the CD of that, which I was going to do the CD of that, but recently, a couple of weeks ago or less, I did order MTV Unplugged, Kiss, and ooh, sneak preview. So there you go. That'll be, I promise, Mike, this will be the next episode after this one right now. Twisted Sister come out and play. The next one will be MTV Unplugged. I may also have another episode, Kiss episode coming up. I'm not sure if that's going to happen or not, but I think there might be another Kiss live record that I may talk about shortly. Or maybe not shortly. So anyway, so the MTV Unplugged album just came today. And it was delivered, I ordered it from Amazon, but it was, I don't know how this works, but it was delivered by DHL. Isn't this interesting? It was delivered by DHL, which was perfect because I have to send back that Smoke and Lightning record back to Amazon via DHL. And since DHL was coming today to deliver this Kiss MTV Unplugged, I thought that saves me the trouble of calling and booking a pickup with DHL and waiting for them. So I'd gone out for a walk to listen to Twisted Sister come out and play, which I will get to, the motivation and inspiration and impetus for that album, I hope shortly. This is all kind of one big glob of goo. And so I was out for a walk listening to it, and see, now normally I go for a walk. There's a place, I call it farmland. If I just walk about 15 minutes and cross kind of like you go down into like a ravine or a valley, there's like a mine there. Then when I come up, it's farmland. I call it farmland because there's horses and cows walking around the street. Far more animals than people walking the street. And but when I have a delivery coming, I just kind of walk around my neighborhood in case they come, and then they can call me. So I'm never more than 5 or 4 minutes away from walking back. So I'd been walking about 7 or 8 minutes, and my phone rang. The guy said, "Hey, Dan, it's DHL. I'm here at your house to deliver a package." So I came here. He delivered Kiss Unplugged, and I gave him the this blues guy record that I got. And what a pain in the ass it is. I had to go buy a roll of tape because I thought DHL would have tape, and they didn't have tape. And so I had to walk to a papeleria, they're called, and I had to buy a roll of tape at my expense to get to return an album that I didn't order. And I will never get Gretchen Goes to Nebraska. I spent money on that, waited for it, and then Amazon essentially gave me a homework assignment to send it back. Yeah, so it is on the way back to wherever it came from. It came from Amazon US. So the King's X is over. I still have to wait like 2 weeks to get my money back. Now this is kind of funny. The impetus for this episode, talking about Twisted Sister come out and play. I was eating my breakfast this morning, my off-brand shredded wheat, and I was watching. I like to watch a few things or at least something while I'm eating. And I was watching one of my friends. I went to El Chopo with him. He was here visiting Mexico a few years ago from Australia, Damien, and we went to El Chopo, and we've been friends since then. And he has a YouTube channel called the Long Gone Loser Rock Show. He's in Australia, and you should go watch his videos. And he put up a video today talking about Twisted Sister. I guess he did. He went through their whole discography. I thought, I want to talk about Twisted Sister Come Out and Play. I've had this album for months. I think I got it last summer, and I've been sitting on it and just waiting for, something to inspire me to talk about. And Damien did that. So that's why I'm talking about that today. Now, also kind of coincidentally, while the DHL guy was here and I was giving him the package, God, this is long, and I promise I'll get to Twisted Sister Come Out and Play very shortly. While I was dealing with the DHL guy, the mailman, the regular mailman, Newman, he came up and with a package for me, which, in a grand coincidence, was something that Damien, the aforementioned Damien, in Australia had sent to me on, I checked the postmark of it. Here it is here. He sent this on, it's January 16th. So what's that, about 15, what's that, about 20, about 4 weeks to get here. Not bad from Australia. And shocking that it found its way to me because the address was blacked out. Isn't that incredible that it got here with the address blacked out? But there it is. So I had some Damien coincidences today. Now, Damien knows what it is because he sent it, but nobody else knows what it is. But it is something that I hereby, or I heretofore, I think, challenge. No, I don't challenge. I invite Damien to come on my show and talk about the contents of this. Maybe you can tell by the shape. It is a record. It's a 45 record. And so Damien, there's your invitation. Please do the right thing. Accept my invitation. We'll try to set something up. We'll talk, and we can talk about this, the record contained therein. All right. It could be hard to work out a time because he lives in Australia. I live in Mexico, and in Mexico now it's what is it? 3:30 in the afternoon in February. I think in Australia it's like July or something. They're way in the future. So Damien, please accept, and we'll try to do something together and talk about this record. Okay? Thank you. So now I'll get to Twisted Sister, Come Out and Play, and here it is. All right? Now, I haven't really talked about, since I've rebranded this show as I Want to Talk About This Album, when it was still called I Love This Album, I did talk about Stay Hungry. So I'll treat this as if it's the first time I'm talking about Twisted Sister. My history with Twisted Sister, I got into them as most people did during Stay Hungry. I loved Stay Hungry, that album. And if you were around at that time, you probably remember probably any country you were in, except if you lived in I don't know, the former Yugoslavia maybe, or maybe I don't know, maybe people in Upper Volta maybe didn't know about it. But Twisted Sister was huge. You couldn't get away from the videos for We're Not Gonna Take It and I Want to Rock, and I loved them, and I loved Twisted Sister, and I did see them on the Stay Hungry tour, opening for Iron Maiden, who were on the Power Slave or World Slavery tour at the time. And I love Twisted Sister, and they're kind of a funny band. I talked recently about, I can't remember who it was, but I think of Rat. Rat is one of my favorite bands, and I love their catalog. They don't really have one album that stands out. Kiss is kind of like that too, and I think it was Motorhead I was talking about. And Twisted Sister, they not too many albums. They had Under the Blade, You Can't Stop Rock and Roll, Stay Hungry, Come Out and Play, and Love Is for Suckers. That's it. So 5 albums, pretty sparse discography. None of them stand out as being my favorite, but I also love all of them. I don't think there's a bad album there. But I do like Come Out and Play. Now, I was supposed to see this tour, as some Americans say. I think people in New Jersey, maybe New York, say tour. I don't know why. But I was supposed to see this, or as Paul Stanley would say, tour. I was supposed to see this tour in January. It must have been 86. I got this record originally, Come Out and Play, I think it was for Christmas in 1985. This came out at some point in 85, I think late in 85. And I had it, loved it. And then it was announced that Twisted Sister and Dokken, who were on at that point it would have been Under Lock and Key tour, they were playing together. They were touring together. They were going to play at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto sometime in January 1986. And I bought tickets. And that was the first time I ever had floor tickets to a concert, at least to an arena concert. I was so happy. I was like 4th or 6th or 7th or 8th row, and I was so happy to finally be on the floor at a big arena rock show. I'd been, on the floor for, smaller shows, of course. And it got canceled. This album flopped so bad. I don't know if there's any band whose flame fizzled quicker than Twisted Sister. They were so huge, the year before, 84 and 85, with Stay Hungry and I Want to Rock and We're Not Gonna Take It. And then this album came out and it just bombed. That tour was canceled. They blamed it on, I think on Dee Snider's vocal problems, which we found out was bullshit. It was canceled because of horrendous ticket sales, which is, I guess, why I was able to get such great seats. And I think they did very, very few shows on that tour. It must have been in January '86 that they did those. Maybe they did 5 or 10, maybe 15, maybe less. Maybe 3. The handyman is here outside. He's leaving, waving goodbye to me. Josue is his name. And so yeah, and you know, that was the end of it. The very, very short tour. Ill-fated, I think, is what you would describe that tour as being. But I do like Come Out and Play. I think it's an excellent album. I think it's very maligned. You know, Saint Anger, Music from the Elder. I don't know, you know, some bands have those real stinkers in their discography that people don't like. I know how this album is viewed. I love it. Unmasked, Kiss has a lot of those records. I think Unmasked is great, and I think Come Out and Play is great. Yeah, so I think now I can finally get to the album. So here it is. There's no now I can tell just by feeling it. When I had the original record that I got for Christmas in '85, it had the you know, this manhole cover popped open, and it was Dee Snider going like this. I think he was doing something like this, something like that. And I can feel that this isn't like that. It is, you know, you can see his hands peeking out the side here. I don't really care about that. It was cool at the time, and I guess I would have liked if this album had it, but it doesn't have it, so I don't really care. But curiously, this is a gatefold, and I don't remember the original one being a gatefold. I could be wrong. Actually, I should go back and watch Damien's video today. He showed the pop-up manhole cover, but I don't think he showed that it was a gatefold. I don't know. But here it is. There's no hype sticker, and it's in one of these bags. I've never seen these bags before. It looks like it's got a perforated. It looks like I can just open it like this. Yeah, very easy to open. Kind of like a perforated line. And all right, there it is. That was very easy. So I'm not sure what the gatefold is, but there it is. And there's the back. And now, as I said, this album flopped. I think there are some reasons why, and I'll talk about those when I get to the track by track. Let's see, the gatefold. Okay. Now this was, I do remember this. This was, and this is kind of cool. This was what the inner sleeve looked like in the original album. It was the lyrics on one side and these pictures on the other side. Although I don't remember the colors on the original version. I think it was just black and white. And each of them had half their makeup face and half their normal face, similar to, that was like that on the back cover of You Can't Stop Rock and Roll. Half the album cover, back album cover, was them in street clothes, I guess they would say, and the other one was them in their, you know, Twisted Sister clothes. So I assumed then the sleeve is probably just white or black, nothing. Hey, and it's yellow vinyl. I had no idea. There was no indication anywhere indicating that it was yellow vinyl. There we go. All right, kind of cool. I don't really care, but it is a nice surprise to see something other than black. And it's funny, usually they would give these colors an adjective. You know, yesterday I did, or the other day in the last episode, for me it was yesterday, I did Slayer Hell Awaits, which they call Velvet Red. I don't know, maybe this is piss yellow or urine yellow. What else is yellow? Striper yellow? I'm not sure. But there it is. All right. All right, so kind of cool. I like the gatefold. I like the yellow vinyl. So going through this track by track, it's Be Cruel to Your School, Leader of the Pack, I want what you got, or you want what we got, whatever that song is called. I Believe in Rock and Roll, I Believe in You. I'll get to that as we go. I'm getting ahead of myself. So the first one is, no, this is in totally wrong order. The first one is, Come Out and Play. Yeah, and here they're in a totally wrong order. All right, so the first one is Come Out and Play. Twisted Sister, come out and play. Dun, 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 dun. Are you afraid of things that go bump in the night? Dun, 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 dun. That's an excellent song. It's got that cool intro. Obviously, it's from Warriors. I thought that movie sucked. I saw that movie years later. It was kind of one of these cult movies, and I didn't like it all that much. But that's a great song. Very, very, as typically opening songs were back then, very fast and maybe even rambunctious. That's an excellent song. Come on and play. Come into our world, an oyster round a pearl. You'll all be safe inside. Oh, the lyrics are out of order too. You'll all be safe inside a perfect place hide, you'll see. Fun by decree. Right above the storm, the average and the norm. A newfound ecstasy, a wild fantasy. Come true. This one's for you. That's a great song. And by the way, I noticed it says, play it loud, Mutha. All right. Come Out and Play is a great, great song. Maybe I need to do these in order. I think I need to take the record out because both the lyrics and the back cover, the songs are out of order. So I'll need to look at this. Okay, so Come Out and Play. Next is Leader of the Pack. Now, this is the lead single from this record. And I think this is one of the reasons, at least one of two reasons, I think why this album flopped. Now, for me, I love Leader of the Pack. I love the song. I love the video. I loved everything about it. But I think at that point, metal fans, who were mostly teenagers, they didn't want a cover of whoever sang this song. I think it was the Beatles, wasn't it? Who originally did Be Cruel to Your School, or one of those old rock and roll groups. And as a 15, 16, 17, 18, 14-year-old metalhead, I think people didn't want to hear Leader of the Pack. It was kind of goofy. And even though I think they had been doing it in clubs for years, this is the first time they recorded it. And so that song just went nowhere. I love it. The Leader of the Pack. Da, 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 da. Her folks were always putting me down, down, down. They said I came from the wrong. They said I came from the wrong side of town. They said he's from the wrong side of town. I stood there and asked her why, but all she could do was cry. I'm sorry I hurt you, the Leader of the Pack. I love it. But yeah, big mistake, I think, putting that out as a single. Next is You Want What We Got. I know what you want. You want what we got. I know what you want. You want what we got. That's a great song. That's maybe that could have been a good single. Who am I to tell Twisted Sister or the bigwigs at Atlantic Records what should have been? But I think that people like Twisted Sister anthems, and maybe that would have been a better choice. That's an excellent song. Next is another good one, I Believe in Rock and Roll. This is maybe more of an anthemic, maybe would have been a good one too. What I like about I Believe in Rock and Roll, there's a part in the middle where it's kind of a spoken word thing. Dee says, he says or sings, how does it begin? I remember at some point he says, with an iron fist in Led Zeppelin. And I love that he name-checked Iron Fist, Motorhead record, and Led Zeppelin. And he said, I know that heavy metal lives. Is that what is it? Let me see this. This is the day of the rocker. Would that my words were written down, would that they were just inscribed in a record, that with an iron fist in Led Zeppelin, they were cut in the rock forever. But as for me, I know that heavy metal lives, and that it will at last stand forth upon the dust, that I myself shall see my own ears, not another's shall behold it. And from my flesh I shall see it rock. My inmost being is consumed with longing. This is the word of the rocker. I like that Dee Snider said, I know that heavy metal lives. Is that what it is? But as for me, I know that heavy metal lives. Because a lot of bands that I listened to at that time, they seemed kind of ashamed or embarrassed, or they just didn't want to be known as heavy metal. Maybe they didn't want to be pigeonholed. Rat said, we're not metal, we're rat and roll. And Motley Crue said, we're not heavy metal, we're just, hard rock and everything. I like, when I was, 15, I liked that Twisted Sister embraced that they were heavy metal. I liked it. I mean, I don't care now, but that was pretty cool at the time. So that's I Believe in Rock and Roll. Next is The Fire Still Burns. This is a good one too. You thought I was gone, but the fire goes on, and I thought you knew me. I told you before that I'll settle the score and I'll never run free. I have enough pain and anger in my brains to last many lifetimes. No, 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 no. I won't have peace of mind. The fire still burns. I think that's a great song. This whole first side is amazing. What a great record. For me, as good as anything they did before. And I do like Love Is for Suckers too. So side 2 starts with the other song that I think was a big mistake that they chose this as a singular video for Be Cruel to Your School. Now Alice Cooper sang on it, and at that time in '85, Alice Cooper was not really in vogue. And it had, and I like this song. It's goofy. It's kind of fun. It's kind of stupid, but I like it. But I think people didn't really care about Alice Cooper. It had saxophone. It even had a saxophone solo. That was Clarence Clemons. I just remember Clarence Clemons was playing that saxophone. And through the song, there's saxophone and piano. And again, I think Twisted Sister fans didn't want saxophone and piano. We wanted guitars and solos, and we weren't going to take it. And you're an SMF. That's what we wanted. We didn't want be cruel to your school, because you may never get another. Be cruel to your school in the name of rock and roll. Sing it, Alice. I see them walking around like the living dead. Ain't they got something between their ears? Yeah. So again, similar to Leader of the Pack, I like it, but I think I'm one of the few, because that song just went nowhere. Next is I Believe in You. Kind of ballady, ballad-esque, ballad adjacent. Won't someone say I believe in you? That song's okay. Next is Out on the Streets. You're out on the streets. That's a little bit of a quieter song, not quite a ballad, definitely not an anthem or a rocker. So that song. Looking Out for Number 1 is next. That's another, I think, a great one. Back to the anthemic Twisted Sister that 14, 15, 16-year-old metalheads wanted. Looking Out for Number 1. Which one was that? What's the opening line of Looking Out for One? They always told me I must try to be like everyone in the nation. Go with the flow, remember, we is me is we, there must be no deviation. I'm looking out for, the time has come for you to make a stand. You've got to do things your own way. Forget about the style, forget the brand. Because every dog has his own day. It doesn't matter what the others think. What counts is do you like you. I like that song, Looking Out for Number 1. And just one more, and that is, well, kind of two more, I guess. Kill or Be Killed. This is a great song. This is kind of bookends as bands used to do it back then. The first song and the last song were often, kind of fast and up tempo. And Kill or Be Killed is like that. Evil's coming, fight the fire. God, why can I never remember the lyrics? Evil's coming, fight the fire. Kill or Be Killed. Where's the lyrics for this one? Evil's coming, fight the fire. Pushes come to shove. Let's all pray. We need the help. Death from up above. Choose your weapons. We must fight. We won't surrender. The king will never change. Hold the line. There's no contender. The outcome's prearranged. It's kill or be killed. Live or let die. Kill or be killed, though you don't know why. It's kill or be killed. Rock or let roll. Kill or be killed. Burn or save your soul. Death is certain. There's no question. Life is what you see. Pick your path. Make your decision for eternity. Choose your weapon? I can't remember. I think that's a great song. I think there were so many good ones that they could have chosen, except other than those, Be Cruel to Your School and Leader of the Pack. And then this one has a bonus track, which is King of the Fools. This was not on the original album. I think this was one of the ones, back then they used to put bonus songs, maybe, I guess whatever wasn't popular at the time. They, cassettes would have a bonus song, or then CDs, when they were new, they had a bonus song that wasn't available on the record or the cassette. And King of the Fools was not, at least not on my original one. I heard this song, this is probably one of the early ones maybe in 99 or 2000, in the early days of the internet. one of the first ones that I downloaded and burned onto a CDR when I used to mix my own CDs. So it had been years. This was 85, and I think I only heard it for the first time in around 99 or 2000. I don't think it's a great song. When I listen to it today, it's definitely my least favorite on the album. That might have something to do with, I'm listening to it out of context. If I had heard it on the album at the time, maybe I would have loved it. But it's kind of, again, kind of a slower, quiet, not quite ballad, but it's just, I didn't really like that song. It doesn't really go anywhere for me. Yeah, so there it is. Come out and play. I can't lift up the Manhole cover. But it's still pretty cool. I like the pink font, and I love the Twisted Sister logo. That was the long one. So remember Danko Jones coming up. I promised for Mike Pratt, Kiss Unplugged, MTV Unplugged. I was supposed to do that with Hell Awaits, but it was delayed by 3 days, and it only came today, and I wasn't mentally prepared. So that was why I talked about this one. And this is, as you can see, this is Twisted Sister. Come out and play! Yeah!